All right, welcome in. MLB Friday, 10:30, September 19th. We are in the thick of it. Some huge series are starting tonight. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into talk a little bit about Kershaw retiring. I've got another number of topics fed to me by MLB. I also want to watch Jonah Tong and Max Fried. So welcome everybody to the stream today. Let's head over and get into our standings so we can see where we stand, because there's like 8 games left for most teams. So it's go time. Blue Jays 3-game lead in the AL East on the Yankees. Blue Jays starting a series in Kansas City here. Yankees are in Baltimore. They won last night behind a huge performance from Max Fried, which we will get into in a little bit. Red Sox now 6 back in the division. Tigers only a 3.5-game lead. They just got swept by the Guardians, who are the team chasing them. I still think they're fine, but Cleveland's making a push at this thing. They've won 7 in a row and 9 out of 10. They go to Minnesota. Tigers have Atlanta. We'll see. Houston and Seattle. This is the big race now. Texas is kind of out of this, so this is the showdown. These teams are playing this weekend. So we're going to take a little look at these guys today, because these two teams are deadlocked. And we're going to try to predict what we think might happen over the last 7-8 days. Phillies have already wrapped up that against the Mets. Brewers and Cubs. Brewers are in good shape. They're about to clinch the division any minute now. Cubs are also clinched for the playoffs, but they're going to be a wild card team. Dodgers 3-game lead on the Pods. Dodgers play the Giants. Padres are at the White Sox, so maybe a chance for the Padres to get a sweep here. We'll see. And then the wild card's where it gets real interesting as well. Cleveland now only 1.5 back of Boston. That is tight. That is tight. 1.5 back of Boston. Woo. Texas, I think, is out. So that's a 2-team race, Boston and Cleveland, for that last wild card spot, I believe. National League, the Mets are getting chased by 3 teams who have a puncher's chance here. Diamondbacks, Reds, and Giants. Let's see what we got here. Mets are now starting a series with the Nats tonight. Arizona is playing Philly. That's a tough draw, but they're at home, and Philly's already clinched at least. Cincy's continuing their series for Chicago. Hunter Green, complete game shutout. If you haven't seen it yet, I have a whole video breaking down Hunter Green's dominating one-hit shutout last night over on my channel, Adam Ottavino 0 on YouTube. You can see the little, names on the bottom there. Anywho. And then the Giants are playing the Dodgers, which we already mentioned. So that's a tough draw for the Giants, because these games still matter for the Dodgers. Dodgers starting pitching has been crazy lately. And speaking of crazy starting pitching, we're going to start today with Kershaw. Okay, he's announcing his retirement. This is something that I don't think came necessarily as a surprise to a lot of people. Clayton, he he was in the All-Star game kind of as the commissioner's pick. I feel like once you do that, it's a pretty good sign that you're on your way out. Notice Verlander did not, so he's going to continue to keep going. Sure enough, I saw he talked to Bob Nightingale out in Arizona yesterday after his great performance the other day. Said, yes, he does want to keep going for age 43 season. But Clayton is done. I'm not surprised at all. But I did want to give a little background. First time I was aware of this guy was leading up to the draft, 2006 draft. So here's the 2006 amateur draft first round right here. This happens to be the same draft I was drafted in. I'm way down here in pick number 30 by the Cardinals, Adam Ottavino. But Clayton Kershaw is way up here at number 7 by the Dodgers. Sandwiched between Andrew Miller and Drew Stubbs. Both guys got a lot of service time and were really good big leaguers. But obviously Kershaw's the diamond, the gem of this draft. If you put it by WAR, he has a pretty sizable lead on the field. Obviously there's Max Scherzer, who's number 2 at 76.5 WAR. So those two guys are way ahead, with Longoria pulling up. And then it's a very steep drop-off after that. But that's the first time I heard about him. High school guy, gets to the big leagues very young, and goes on just an unprecedented run of dominance. One that honestly, we really haven't seen hardly ever. Check out the peak right here of Kershaw. It's from 11 through 17. So from 11 through 17, he pitched 207 games, 207 starts, and put up a 2.10 ERA. 179 ERA plus. 1.8 walks per nine, 6.5 hits per nine, 10.1 strikeouts per nine. Hard to be better than that. And you can't be better than that. That's as good as pitching gets. Kersh is the man. And I was messing around earlier on this tool that MLB gave me for the stream, where you can watch some of the top plays of a guy's career, and they have a lot of funny stuff, a lot of statcast stuff. But I do find it funny. You can watch funny things like, this is the hardest ball Clayton ever hit. I mean, it's just a ground out and you would never know it, but I think it's funny to pull up, stuff like that. Pitchers getting hits. His fastest pitch of his career turned out to be 98.1, but it's so long ago that we have no video available. But yeah, I just thought we should touch on him for a minute. Absolute legend, going out on top. Gonna get one more shot at the playoffs, and I think they wanted to announce it so that he could be celebrated a little bit on that last home start of the career, regular season at least. Hopefully he gets a chance to pitch in the postseason. But we'll see. This was a fun one. I thought this one was funny. Fielder sprint speed. This is young Clayton right here hustling over to first to beat Corey Spangenberg. Look at him put the hammer down, move those feet. Love that. What else we got? Anything else fun? I mean, throwing some nasty sliders here. This is the pitch that really defined him. Just chase sliders all day long. Nobody could hit him. He was like a metronome every time we played them. 0-1 count, 0-2 count, 1-2 count. The innings were quick. The chances were rare. Pretty much put the hammer down versus the Rockies all those years that we used to face them. Of course, at Coors, you had a little bit of a better shot, but still very hard. So the accolades on the career: MVP, which is crazy for a pitcher. The only other one I can think of right now is Verlander. That's current. Obviously, Clemens. There's been some other guys, but recent memory. Triple Crown, pitching Triple Crown. Won the World Series in 2020. And last year, technically part of it. 5 ERA titles, Clemente Award winner, Gold Glove, 3 Cy Youngs, and 11-time All-Star. So congrats to him. He's a stud. Just wanted to point that out. So now we are going to go look at the 2 New York starting pitchers from yesterday. One of them is, first we'll watch Max Fried. So Max Fried had a crazy start, and I didn't watch it, so I'm excited to take a look at it. But what catches my eye right away is this: 45 swings and 28 whiffs. 62% whiff rate. I don't even know what that is. That's crazy high, and I'm really curious how the changeup's going to play, because 10 whiffs on 12 swings on changeups is simply mind-blowing. So they swung 12 times at his changeup and they missed it 10 times. And it looks like they put one in play at 50 miles an hour. So, all right, let's head over to this game. Let's watch some baseball. That's what we do. Yankees-Orioles. This was a big game for the Yankees. I was covering the Yankees on Yes Network, the 3 games against Minnesota prior to this series. And they had a sleepy game, the first game of the series, after a tough travel day. They had an even tougher travel day heading into this game. Obviously, Fried probably went ahead, but I was a little worried about them playing a sleepy game last night. They did just the opposite. Max Fried comes out and he punches the world. So we'll just do the result pitches and we'll go from there. First punchy of the game is a changeup. Obviously, that's a weird pitch. Up and away changeup. I don't really have much to say about that. And then we're going to get a Jordan Westburg fly out. 96-mile-an-hour cutter. This is another thing that seen some encouraging signs out of a few individual pitchers recently in terms of late season velocity. Max Fried's one of them. The velocity's been up the last few games. Great sign for the Yankees. He's feeling fresh. That finger, whatever he had going on with the finger, that's long over. And really, him and Rodon, in my opinion, the Yankees go as far as those 2 guys take them. Fried and Rodon. They're going to need to be consistently great in the playoffs if the Yankees want to get to the top of the mountain this year. Max Fried's velocity is there. It's a good sign. Hunter Green is the other guy that I was thinking of while talking about this. Hunter Green's velocity was there yesterday. He averaged an even 100 miles an hour yesterday in his game, which is incredible. Incredible. All right, now a little sinker gets off the end of O'Neill's bat here. Ooh, Ahmed Rosario getting in the game today. Then there's a walk to Jeremiah Jackson and a single to Mayo. Let's see the single. It's on a curveball. Wow, first pitch curveball line to left. So first and second and one out. And then he's going to get the rookie Basayo on a sinker. Vicious pitch below the zone. And again, 97.4. You know, you think Max Fried, you think huge pitch mix. You know, you think great athleticism. You think pitch making, pitch shaping, all sorts of stuff. But you don't necessarily think velocity. But guess what? He does have it. 97.4. Chews up the rookie here below the zone with the sinker. And maybe this is starting to come back a little bit more. I've seen more chase below the zone lately than I can remember in a long time. And a lot of guys attempting to get it too. All right. Jorge Mateo is going to ground out here to end this inning. 94.4 cutter. So again, the velocity is outstanding. Really good sign for Max and the Yanks. Third inning, he's going to get some strikeouts here. First one comes on a four-seam. Just by you. And mind you, his four-seam has a cut shape to it. Basically, no horizontal break. So anytime you see anything close to zero on the H break, it's going to be boring in on the right-handed hitter, at least perception-wise to the batter. So that's a good thing to note. All right, back to the top of the order, and Ryan Mountcastle, 3-pitch punchy to him. Second time he gets him on a changeup. That is a beautiful changeup. And I think why this plays so well is I just mentioned how his fastball has cut action to it. So out of Max's release, like when he gets to right here, you're going to see a lot of fastballs that trend in this sort of direction. Doesn't matter the height, but they're going to trend in that direction. Right? Now for his changeup has negative 15 inches of horizontal break. So what those cutters, those fastballs, those breaking balls, they're all trending into a righty, away to a lefty. The changeup goes the other direction. But when it initially comes out of the hand, as you can see here on the video, it's going to trend along this same line, that same direction for about this far. That's far enough to sell it and set the expectation of that ball continuing to move into the batter, except it peters out. It just, now that movement has caught and it's drifting away from the batter, and it's a little too late. And that's why the changeup fits his arsenal so well, particularly one with this much movement on it. Also 90.4, this is, I noticed in the data from last night that his changeup was up 3 miles an hour yesterday. I don't know if that is a conscious decision, but it would make sense that a harder pitch would generate more chase because you have less time to adapt. Well, not less time to adapt, less time to make a decision, you know, swinging or not swinging. So that lends itself to some early poor decisions. That's what happens here. I mean, it's perfect execution, but he has to expect this pitch to be in the plate, and it's simply not. It goes the other direction, and it's filthy. Not much Mountcastle could do there, and then he's going to finish the 3-strikeout inning with this fastball to Westberg. And that ball just explodes to the top of the zone. Again, this ball trends out the same way as that changeup kind of does. This is a little higher, but it comes out on that same angle, except this one, you can see it just explodes to the top. And again, that velo is premium right now. 97.4 out of the left-hander. Outstanding. Really a ton to love and to like and to be impressed by early in this one. All right, Gunnar. He's going to get him with a sinker. Chews him up. And it started last year for sure, but a reemergence of the two fastball approach. I have a four-seam, I have a sinker. Even if my sinker's not metrically, super impressive on the TrackMan, it can play with good location to same-sided hitters. You see it right there. Gets himself an easy out. And easy outs are huge for starters because they help you go deeper into the ball game. And again, that's what the Yankees are looking for. They're looking for him and Rodon to carry this club. It'll fly out to the most nonchalant outfielder in the big leagues, Trent Grisham. And then he's going to punch out Jeremiah Jackson on 3 pitches to end this one. Another bully fastball. Yep, up above the zone. So, getting chased below, getting chased above, getting chased away. Fantastic place to be as a pitcher. Now Kobe Mayo is going to get called out on strikes on a changeup. Kind of cuts this one through. This is actually probably not what he wanted to do with it. But again, he thought that ball was coming in on him. It's kind of the same effect, just on the opposite side of the plate. This ball trends inward. Hitter thinks it's going to continue inward off the plate. That's what this little hip move is right here that you see him doing. And then the ball just reverses course and stays in the zone. And you're gone. Nice pitch. Kind of a happy accident. And now we got Basayo again, and he is cooking with gas at this point. Getting everybody out really quickly and efficiently. Chews him up with a sinker. Volpe gets the big hop, knows his runner. It's a good job. Basayo looked like he grabbed his hamstring there. That's not great. And then Mateo's going to punch out here. Change up again. Perfection. Same tunnel as before. Starts it right towards that outside line, headed towards the middle, and then nope, reverse path. And little it's like a crossover in basketball. I'm going one way, nope, I'm going the other way. And you're punched. All right, 6th inning, Luis Vasquez, another strikeout. I mean, he really punched the world in this game. I think it's 13. Oh, there's the curveball. That might be his best pitch. We haven't even talked about that at all today. Just showing you that this guy's got a lot. You know, he's got a lot. All right, Fried. So that's the curveball there to, that was who? Vasquez. All right, now we got Ryan Mountcastle. He's going to get a hit on the first pitch. You know, just trying to get ahead. I don't blame him. He's already struck out twice in this game. He doesn't want to strike out again. Put the ball in play. Didn't go as well for his buddy, though. Westberg, change up. Same pitch again. So we've seen 3 exact same perfectly executed down and away changeups, you know, into this area. And he's gotten 3 strikeouts utilizing it. Tremendous pitch. All right, now Henderson's going to get a hit. So this is a 2-out. Little chopper. You know, credit to him for hitting at 107, basically, but it's a chopper. Finds its way through the infield, so that sets up one of the only stressful moments for Max in this game, and he comes back with a, we'll watch the whole at-bat. This is a strikeout. Starts him with a backdoor sweeper, gets the call. So it's a pretty bad call, but this is a very useful first pitch. It's not a pitch he wants to get anybody out with, but he can drop it in for hopefully a take, and he gets away with it there for the 0-1 count. Now he's going to go to that changeup. Another perfect location on the changeup, gets the chase. Man, the changeup was incredible in this game. So he gets himself to 0-2, and he's in the driver's seat in this at-bat. He's going to double up on that changeup. Flies that one a little bit. Ooh, triple up. Flies that one a lot a bit. Now what's he going to go off of that? Ooh, he's going to reach back for 98.5. Up top. Blows his doors off. Again, the ability to access 98.5 miles an hour when you need it. Just a fantastic ability, and he'll finish his 7th inning here. He's going to get another out with a changeup. So, again, he doesn't get a ton of his outs with changeups historically. He gets some. But he rode a season-best changeup today to great effect. And then there's a punchy with a slider for good measure. So I've seen fastball punchies, both sinkers and 4-seams. I've seen changeup strikeouts. I've seen curveball strikeouts. Now I've seen a slider strikeout. So You name it, he's done it. He's checked a lot of boxes in this one. Nasty pitch there to the back foot. And then he's going to get Basayo. He's abused this guy with sinkers and changeups left on left. I promise you he didn't see hardly any of that in the minor leagues, and you can tell by these swings. Nice play here by Wellesley. Interesting move here for your catchers out there. He fields it, and obviously if he tries to throw it here, he's right into the runner. So he catches it, takes a big step to the right to clear himself a little bit of a lane around the runner. He's able to fling it over there and give Goldie a shot to make the play. So kind of a clever move in the moment to give himself a little more room. Yeah, so that was Max Fried. As you see, the whiffs are out of control in this game. He threw absolutely outstanding. He really leaned on the changeup, which I think is a little different for him. So I'm going to check up on that real quick. I mean, it's an 11% pitch for him. It's the second least used pitch on the season. And on run value this year, it had 0 run value. Now, that's going to change after last night's game. That's going to go way up because he got a ton of outs on it. But again, just showing a willingness to have options. And it's impressive that he's kept his RV 100s on every single pitch type, at least at 0. Nothing in the negatives. Very, very rare to see that, and demonstrates just how freaking good he's been this year. So Max Fried, him and Rodon are kind of the 1 and 1A, 1A, 1B, I guess you would call it, of the Yankees. They're going to really have to ride these boys the whole way. If they had Garrett Cole, watch out. I think they'd actually maybe be a favorite. But with those two, then they're going to have to find how to get the other outs, in and around the series with the bullpen and Schlittler and Heel and guys like that. How are we feeling in the chat? Are we feeling the Yankees? Are we feeling Fried and Rodon, or we think they don't have enough pitching to get through this gauntlet that they're about to head into? Because I'm checking the chat right now. I think we're going to do Tong next, and then we're going to hit on the AL West and Mason Miller after that. Yamamoto's velo has also been up lately. Good call, good call. Volpe's at-bats have been better lately. I think that's true. And DFN Gaming commenting that he thinks Max is the Greg Maddux right now of our time. So I kind of can see that. It's a different style because of the, you can see he can access 98. He's got more pitches than Greg, but imagine Greg with pitch design. He would have come up with some shit. But no, I mean, Max is awesome. He's a master, absolute master of his craft. Big fan of him. Big fan of him. Big fan. And I'm curious to watch his first taste of the postseason in the Bronx. That's going to be really cool. All right, the other game I wanted to watch, and I'm going to head over here. There was a lot of demand yesterday. A lot of people writing on my page about check out Jonah Tong. He looked a lot better yesterday. I didn't see any of this game. But we'll give you the quick rundown on the stuff mix because I watched all his other games, and then we'll go ahead and watch this one, and we'll see where we think it stacks up. 55 fastballs, 15 curveballs, 10 changeups. That's the Vulcan changeup that he throws. His is kind of weird because he throws it off of like a 4-seam grip, but that's the Vulcan changeup. It's quite a bit slower than his fastball, so it's an interesting pitch. A lot of people were asking me how does he compare to the Trey Savage guy. It's just it's different, even though they both have the high slot. There's some nuance here that's different. He also featured 2 sliders. Actually, velo was actually down about 1 mile an hour across the board yesterday. So let's just get into it. Padres and Mets. And Mr. Jonah Tong making his, I believe, 4th career start. Wow, one of the 2 sliders, and we get to see it as the first pitch we watch. Kind of a middle slider to Tatis. Probably benefited from the fact that he's not looking for a slider. So 1 out there, and now here is a rise. Now I want to watch this whole at-bat. Somebody said there was something weird about this at-bat. So taking all the way, just to an insane level of statue. What is Arise doing here? You ever see anything like this? We used to call this the statue. Now he moves a little bit, but just takes a pitch and steps out and does it again. So that was a little odd. But it works for him. I mean, does anybody stay inside the ball better than Luis Arraez? This is a very, actually, if you could build a hitter in a lab to face Jonah Tong, it might be Arraez. His contact rate, is kind of the antidote for the style that Tong is, where he's trying to get you to swing big and be under everything, and Arraez is just trying to slap. And look at this. This is middle in. He stays through it. Inside out's a hit. So hit there. And now Manny is also going to get a hit on a changeup. This is a 3-2 changeup. Ooh. Really rides out the changeup well. So, oh, bad base running alert and really good defense alert. Yeah, I was wondering what happened here because it said he got a single. I'm like, dude, he hit this ball off the wall. I don't know what happened here. Nimmo plays it well. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, he gets pretty much a candy hop. And I think that they assumed he was going to throw to third. Manny does not run hard here, I don't think. He's nowhere near it. Oh, he's running. I mean, it's not fast running, but he's running. Let's watch him here. Man, he's not quick like he used to be, I guess, but also good awareness by the Mets. They get the free out here. This actually is huge. This is so big for a pitcher. You get a free out here. Instead of being second and third, one out, chance for your confidence to start to crumble a little bit early in this one. You get gifted with a free out here. All right, so Nimmo gets to it. Actually, he's not even around first yet. They're not really ready for this. Lindor's in no man's land. I don't know if this was I guess he assumes you're not getting him at third, so he might as well half line up to second. But the throw comes in, then he goes and gets it. So Nimmo turns and throws it to second. Lindor goes, gets it, fires it. McNeil's there. And they end up getting the out. Huge out. Huge out in this game. All right, and then he's going to punch out Jackson Merrill. Let's watch the whole at-bat. Wow, four-seam, middle down. This is where Jackson Merrill's swing is built to destroy baseballs. But this is the thing that I've been saying, stick with this kid a little bit just because look at the vertical break on that. That's tops in the big league, so it's an abnormal fastball from an abnormal slot. It should play over a larger sample size, and this one, good indication of that because that location is dreadful. And yet, he completely misses it. Doubles up. Gets this one to the inside, jams him. Just about an inch away. Now he goes curveball, dirt, ball. Four seam again. This one's 97-3. Another pitch kind of in the wheelhouse of Merrill. Poor Torrens gets rocked with this foul ball. But this is kind of in the wheelhouse. But again, Tong, 22 inches of vert on this. So this is now kind of off the chart. This ball just looks like it never, ever droops down. It just backspins so true. Only drops 7.4 inches on the way. So that's a very, very low number. Very, very low value. Inches of drop. But that's right in Merrill's wheelhouse and just shows you how incredible the shape of his fastball is that he stays above the barrel of a guy built to hit pitches in that location. Also, you want to be a catcher when you grow up? You might have to deal with some, balls off the face mask. Change up. Gets him out front. Really good pitch. It's a really good combo off that fastball. It's so much slower. 85 off the 97. That's 12 miles an hour. Even with a poor location here of being in the middle of the zone, you can see just how front Jackson Merrill is. And he gets himself to another 1-2 count where he's going to get him here with the curveball. This one gets it out and away from him. And what the curveball does, not only is it a different type of break on the way to the plate, but it's also 76.8 miles per hour. So it's way slower than the other pitches. And therefore, Merrill's kind of gone. Like, he goes to stride. His timing's on something else. And all he can do is just kind of fling the bat at it, and he's not near it. So great inning by Tong to recover with that last strikeout. What I've seen from him already is basically more of what I've seen before. He's got good pitches. They're interesting pitches. there's no real attempt to pitch yet. It's just kind of, let's pick one, let's try to mess with timing. It's all slow timing, and then let the stuff play. So let's see how it goes as we go. He's going to strike out Laureano on a fastball. Down and away paint. Beautiful pitch. Tough pitch to swing at, given his amount of ride. Good pitch, strike out. Now Gavin Sheets is going to single. Let's see what he gets him on. Change up. Wow. 2-1 changeup, slices it the other way, and honestly, there was a very, very small hole here, and he hit it right through. I mean, you can see there's almost no hole here, and yet it goes through. So a little ground ball hit for Sheets, and now Ryan O'Hearn's going to get called out on strike. So another strikeout looking at the bottom of the zone, which makes a lot of sense. So he's not really executing the top of the zone. You can see the target. This is where LT wants it, where Terens wants it. He wants it up top. But it's working. It's working because the fastball down, they think it's going to be down, and then it sticks at the bottom, so it's a happy accident. But I just want to note, like, he's not hitting his spots. He's not doing what he wants to do, but the quality of his stuff is working so well. And then the last out of the second is this Cronenworth pop-up. Curveball. And I really think the curveball, a big feature of it is the speed. It's very slow. You can see the hitters, they kind of stride. They have to wait for it. Yeah, the swing's a little interrupted, not quite right, and a little rollover there. So there's some questions in the chat really quickly. What people are saying. What do you think Tong does best? I think his stuff is really good. I think that's what he does best. I also think he competes really well. He's got a winning spirit out there, a desire to strike dudes out. That's what I think he does best. I think he has a lot of other layers to add on. And yes, Brett, I am wearing a derpy shirt. K-pop Demon Hunters, because that's what my daughter's like right now. Arise was running on the pitch, so he got to third easily, but Machado still thought Nimmo was going to throw to third, but he threw to Lindor. Jeff was yelling 2-2-2 like crazy. That's good. Also, I need a little help in the chat when we watch. Is the voice of the announcers too loud or too soft? I need to get this right, and I recently forgot what value I had it at when it was right, so if it's too loud, tell me. If it's too quiet, tell me. All right, we go to the third. Freddie Fermin, first pitch out. Huge for Tong. And that's how I expect him to get his outs, when he gets them in the air. This is the type of pitch that he should be trying to execute all the time. Fastball up and away to a righty with his level of ride. You're going to get nothing but pop-ups on this. He's so far under this, he hits this ball at 61 degrees straight up in the air. So one out there. Now Tatis. Interesting that he throws two sliders all day. They're both to Tatis. They both get put in play. One's hit pretty good to right. This one's lined up the middle. So good hitter, doing good things. Nothing surprising there. And now we have Arise. They're going to score a run here on a sac fly. So something happened that Tatis got all the way around the bases. Here's the play. Nimmo's got a good arm, but it's not that good. All right, so how did he get there? There was a pickoff attempt. Oh, yeah, he throws a pickoff away. That's what happens. Kind of pulls it, hits off the runner. It's not a horrible, horrible throw, but it's not great either. And then he's going to end up eventually on third. How did he get to third? Not there. Oh, yeah. So a second wild pitch right here. So there's also been some of this in Tong's game. Definitely shows a tendency to yank his fastball sometimes to like an uncatchable location. And this is like the third or fourth wild pitch of this exact variety that we've seen out of him in the early going. So it's just a thing about his game. They're going to have to figure out how to how to have more high-quality reps and eliminate the outlier reps on the bad side. So he gives up that sac fly, the run scores, and then he's going to punch out Machado here on a fastball. 22 inches of vert, so fastball continues to be a crazy outlier. And again, with 2 strikes, when he gets it into this area above the zone, it's completely unhittable up there. So Pretty good place to live. We're going to see more of that. We basically cannot hear the voice of the announcers. Okay, so I'm going to crank it up just a touch. We're going to go here, and then somebody will tell me after that. Jackson Merrill lines out to Juan Soto. So that's what I was saying the first at bat. Like those pitches in the middle down to Merrill, those are exactly what he wants to crush. He just misses this. Hits it pretty good, but it's right at the right fielder. Now he's going to go on a strikeout binge. Four-seam to Laureano. Let's see if he starts executing that high heater. Yep, there's one. No shot on that. Good pitch. Sheets. Another fastball. High target. Yep, gets it there. Good pitch again. When you have his type of fastball, there's so many strikeouts at the top of the zone if you set it up correctly, and looks like he goes on a binge of them here. Here's number 3, high target. Oh, that's middle. Still blows him away. 20-inch vert. Gotta love it. And then Cronenworth. Four-seam. Gets him again. Beautiful. And then Fermin is going to fly out, so he's going to pitch 5 innings in this game. Give up 1 run. Mets get a much-needed win, and they stay in the lead in the wild card. Final thoughts on Tong from this game. Granted, obviously, I didn't watch every pitch, but we saw everything that happened. My thoughts are his stuff continues to be very good and very exciting, but at the same time, there's just not a high level of command here yet, especially with the fastball. You don't really know whether it's going to go high or low or medium height. He definitely makes a lot of mistakes in the middle that he's going to get away with for a stretch because of how good his fastball shape is and how different the speeds are of his other pitches, kind of protecting that fastball. So for the most part, he's going to be fine, and I wouldn't tell him to change much. I do think, though, over time, he's going to have to learn how to execute a little bit better, whether it be at the bottom or at the top of the zone, and how to eliminate those yanked misses. Just like 5% better in those areas, and everything will clean up really nicely. As for the changeup, it's kind of the same deal with the changeup and the curveball. Learn how to land them in the zone, learn how to land them below the zone consistently. Maybe the changeup can go off the plate a little bit, and you're going to be fine, especially in games where you face a lot of lefties. He's going to be great. Against righties, you could see he tried to work in the slider twice to Tatis. Not a great pitch yet, but, they kind of had no choice but to rush this guy to the big leagues. And that's how it goes sometimes. But overall, very good performance when the team needed it. So, great job by him. I do think it's interesting. He got 0 whiffs on the day, except for on the fastball. And you saw where all those whiffs were. They were up in the zone. So, that's a formula and something to look out for with Jonah moving forward. Very interesting with the Mets. Petey's been struggling a little bit, Peterson. So now you really are kind of looking at the 3 rookies at the moment to maybe be trusting. I'm sure Peterson will factor in as well. But it's fascinating at Holmes. Where does he fit in? Manaea now. They're trying to figure it out. But thankfully, they've had some rookies that have given them some good performances. Obviously, McLean's been the star of the show. But Sproat and Tong now, pretty good job for Tong in 2 of the 4 games, and Sproat both games. So good signs for the Metros. Very good signs for the Metros. All right. Next up on the list today is, let's talk a little bit AL West. So AL West, if we go back over here to the standings, AL West, it's in a deadlock. Houston and Seattle are deadlocked here at 84 and 69. They open up a series tonight against each other. I'm pretty sure tonight's matchup is a dandy of Hunter Brown and Brian Wu. Now, Seattle's got a plus 58 run differential. Houston's got a plus 27 differential. You can throw all this out. These teams are different than they were most of the year, so a lot of the stats are actually kind of irrelevant now, in my opinion. You just got to look at the components that each team has at the current moment and try to value from there, right? I think that's the most important thing in this moment, instead of trying to look at their seasons as a whole and draw any conclusions. So let's go over to the expected stats First, we're going to look at the Astros, who are a team that has had some tough injury luck. You know, Jordan is a big deal moving forward for Houston, and also no Hader is a big deal because Hader was their number one pitcher this year. So this is what they've been working with this year. Out of the bullpen, Okert's been good, King, Bennett, Souza, Ronel Blanco, and then Hunter Brown's been the ace of the staff this year, 100% with Framber being the secondary ace. Abreu's been the closer. He's been good. So they have a lot of guys who are throwing the ball well out of the bullpen. That's a good sign for them. I think what's a bad sign for them is that beyond Brown and Framber, it gets a little bit thin in the rotation. Now, Alexander, this guy right here, Jason Alexander, he's actually done a nice job. He's a contact type pitcher, so a lot of these stats aren't going to freak out over his effectiveness, as you can see. But at the end of the day, 16 games, 4.04, and really he's been a lot better lately. It's a contact game, so at the moment, I have to say Seattle has the better starting pitching by far. Bullpen-wise, it's pretty close, I think. Let's look at the Mariners. We got to lower the minimums here, I think, for this team. Yeah, because you got to include Matt Brash in here. Now, Matt Brash, Gabe Spire, Andres Munoz, Caleb Ferguson they picked up earlier, Bizardo. They have a lot of different relievers. I actually think I might like the Houston bullpen maybe a little bit more right now, except for the fact that the two guys I love on the Mariner bullpen are Matt Brash and Andres Munoz. Those guys are incredible. And then, but rotation, there's no comparison. Houston has two great starters, Brown and Valdez. Mariners have at least three, and if not, pretty close to five. Wu, Gilbert, Kirby. Those guys are all amazing. Then Castillo's really good. And then there's also this guy, Bryce Miller, who has had a weird year. He's been hurt a lot, but he's good too. So they send a good pitcher out there every single night. Now, offensively, first we'll stick with the Mariners while we're here. This is the thing that I like that they did at the deadline, where they actually helped their offense a little bit, going with Suarez and also Naylor. But Suarez hasn't done much since he's been over there, and in fact, he's actually been a below-average ex-WOBA on the season, which is crazy because he has what does he have, 40 homers? 46 homers. But he hasn't done much yet with the Mariners. Naylor also hasn't been as good with the Mariners, but he's a solid contributor. At the end of the day, it's it's Cal Raleigh. Julio's been incredible in the second half. And then a bunch of guys that have ability, but it's not that deep of an offense, so that's a little bit of a concern. I think Astros have the better offense. Let's see. At the moment, by player by player. It's a big deal, though, I have to say. It's a really big deal that there's no Jordan. Yeah, because Jordan's by far the best. So Correa, Pena, Diaz, I think I might be dead wrong. I think I give the Mariners the edge on both. But, you know, you can't sleep on some of these names. Altuve, Christian Walker, Paredes, Sanchez. I mean, they have names. I don't know. I think I'm favoring Seattle right now at the moment in this race. I think Seattle finds a way to win this series and then hold on for the division. You know, especially with Jordan being out, they don't boast one, hitter who's like a true problem at the plate. So, and the Mariners do, Cal Raleigh, obviously, and even Julio, the way he's been playing. So that's kind of my take on this race. It's going to be great, though. Tonight, Hunter Brown and Brian Wu. So that's a fantastic matchup. And then the last thing I want to look at is this dude who's been incredible, Mason Miller. We all know about him. The man throws cheese. He threw an immaculate inning earlier in this year with 9 sliders. Oh, hello. Hi. You got a truck? Yeah. Can I see? Yeah. Where are you? Hi. Yeah, I'm on. I'll be done in a little bit. So anyway, I want to watch a little bit of this because it came to my attention when I was looking at his game logs here, Mason Miller. He hasn't allowed a run since this day. That's July, right? 8 is July. No, 7 is July. 8 is August. Since August 5th, no runs allowed. So that took him from a 4.02 ERA all the way down to a 2.81 ERA. And look at him so far in September. 7 games, 8 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 17 strikeouts. Yeah, I know. We want to see the truck too. He hasn't come out with it. Archie, you got the truck? Where's the truck, bro? All right, so maybe we just try to watch these games really quick, these Mason Miller outings. 9-3-25 versus Baltimore. I think this is the Immaculate. Yeah, this is the Immaculate. This one's hilarious. I'm just going to leave it on run while I talk to this kid. All sliders. Where's your truck, buddy? Huh? Can I see it?
Yeah.
Can you get it for me? Okay, you bring it here. The people want to see the truck. So as you can see, he's just ripping sliders here. And he throws 9 of them. He strikes them all out. And it's pretty crazy. This is the first game of his tear in September. And this is a big deal for the Padres because Jason Adams out. And now this makes this trade even that much more important for the rest of this season, because now the bullpen's without one of their dominant guys. I mean, they still have a ton, but this is why it was so important to get this guy. He steps in now, 7th, 8th inning role for the aforementioned Jason Adam, and they just keep on rolling. At the end of the game, you're getting nothing but ridiculous fastball stuff when it comes to both Robert Suarez and Mason Miller. And then this one's at Colorado, San Diego at Colorado on the 6th. Oh, baby, let's see these trucks. Ooh, we got Lightning McQueen. Always like Lightning McQueen. And then we got... And then we got this guy right here. And Minnie's driving it, I guess. Nice, Arch. Amazing. Great job. All right, I'll come play with those trucks in a little bit.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, buddy. Bye-bye. And then, okay, so we need to see Colorado on the 6th. Let's see here. Colorado Rockies, San Diego Pods on the 6th. Mason Miller. So this at bat, this game we'll just watch some of the finals. So this is in Coors. He goes an inning and a third here. Still striking everybody out with this slider. Looks like the slider has really become a big time pitch for him lately as his put away. Not as much fastball. Yeah, way out in front of another slider. And then he gets a sick double play here. So another slider. Getting a lot of outs with sliders. Nice turn there. Okay, next game is so Cincinnati pitches against them twice on the 8th and the 9th. Three strikeouts here. All right, this one's on a heater. 101 up top. His stuff is just so ridiculous. And at this time of year, you know, the bat speed slows down a little bit. A lot of guys are tired. And what do you really want in the playoffs? You want kind of the advantage of the plus stuff. You know, you want the velocity. The focus is going to be there. Everything's going to be heightened. But you want a little more margin for error. And this dude's got plenty of margin for error with his stuff. Wipes out Sal Stewart. So another 3 strikeouts there. What else we got? Cincinnati again the next night. So 8th and the 9th. Well, you know what? Let's skip ahead to his most recent outing versus the Mets on 9/17. And people have been asking me a little bit about whether, you know, he could go back to starting. I think he could. It's just interesting because he's so dominant in this role. It's just hard to envision him, ever not doing this anymore. This is such a big help to a team. So I'll show you all these outs, but let's watch all the pitches of the 2 strikeouts because it's Juan Soto and Pete Alonso. So these are interesting at bats. Juan Soto is the tying run at the plate here. 101.2 up away. I believe this is the at bat where Soto almost ties the game with a homer. So this should be interesting. I mean, just a screaming heater, 101 up and away. Really good spot on top of the pitch, being really, really fast. It's going to double up on that heater. Pulls it in for a ball. Jeez, and just when you think you can't throw any harder, 102.7, middle, challenge heater to Juan Soto. Dude, this is such a fast pitch. And this is what I mean. He has a different level he can go to. Ball and dirt, slider. Good take. Here comes that another 102.6. This is the one that's almost the game-tying homer. Basically misses the foul pole by, Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. So he gets lucky here. It just shows you how damn good Juan Soto is, that he's able to stay on a ball with this much speed on it. This is 102.6. And nearly ties it up right there, but he gets another shot at it. He goes back to the slider. And he throws a perfect backdoor slider. So nothing Juan Soto could do there. Ultimately, that's a good take. I mean, what are you going to do with that pitch? And Mason Miller is a little bit unfair. This is a nasty pitch, man. This breaks 8 inches to the left at almost 89 miles an hour off of a 102 mile an hour pitch. Hitting is so damn hard. And then he's going to go after Pete. And this is how I do expect them to use him maybe at times, given what they've done in this game. Bring him in a little bit as that big-time fireman, 7th, 8th inning. Best guy's coming up. Tell him, go get him, big boy. Give him everything you got. And, Pete's definitely looking for fastball here as he gets slider, takes another one. Now with 2 strikes, he's going to throw him another slider. So Pete's going up there looking for fastball. Unfortunately for him, he gets nothing but sliders the whole way. And Miller wipes him out. This is a key adjustment that he's making as he's getting more into his career. Yes, he's got the great fastball, but he understands that can be a decoy at times and a big-time distraction for hitters, and he's using it. So, awesome job to get through the 7th. And then he comes back out in the 8th, and he gets 3 quick outs. Man, almost gets clipped here, doesn't he? Got Nimmo just enough out front. Little warning track fly out. Marte, ground out. So this is also big. He can go more than 3 outs. This is a huge weapon, and I expect his workload to be robust in October, provided they need it. This is one of the guys that they're gonna want to win or lose their season with this guy on the mound, 100%. And then he gets Jeff here, 100.5 mile an hour fastball. Manny goes over. Jeff's disgusted, but again, Mason Miller. Shoving. Again, September stats, 8.1 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 17 strikeouts. That's a .24 whip. He is feeling himself at the right time. Padres are 3 back of the Dodgers at this moment, but they're sitting pretty in the wild card. If the season ended today, what would the matchups be? It would be Milwaukee and Philly with the byes. It would be Dodgers, Mets, and it would be Cubs, Padres. I think I'm taking the Padres in that matchup. I don't know. That'll be a tough one. Yeah, that was a little unlucky. I would agree with that. Game of inches, it really is. All right, so we did an hour. It's pretty solid. What else we got here? Let me see what I had in the chat. AO West, we talked to AO West. We watched Kershaw. We did talk to Kershaw. We didn't really watch much Kershaw. Should we circle back and just see what kind of funny stuff is on here. Runner sprint speed. Look at him. No batting gloves. Run, Forrest. Oh, he was smelling that hit. That's great. A lot of weird base running ones that I find funny. Yeah, a lot of weird ones. All right. I want to go back to the beginning of this page because this page has some fun stuff. Like we can see the furthest home runs from yesterday. Here's one. Mickey Moniak off of Bellozzo. I mean, it's Coors, so everything's far. Out there into the forest. Very nice. Wow, Brian King has not allowed any inherited runners to score this year. Is that true? I bet his win probability added is outstanding. Thanks for this question in the chat. That allows me to go ahead and experiment and look at something. Brian King, what type of season is this dude having? Very strong one. Very, very strong. 2 years in a row. 1.03. Walk rate's outstanding. 4.2% walks, and you don't barrel them. Good combo. All right, so we want to go look at the inherited runners and all that type of stuff. All right, let's go to Fangraphs, relief pitchers, and then we want to go to win probability. I know he's got to be up here if that's the case. King. Yep, there he is, Brian King, 11th in the big leagues with a 2.52 WPA, 11th best in the sport. 27 shutdowns, 6 meltdowns is outstanding. That's outstanding. He has been clutch city this year. Leverage index, it's pretty big leverage. I mean, nothing crazy, no Edwin Diaz style leverage or Josh Hader, but pretty good. Above average leverage for sure. But yeah, 2.53 in WPA, that's huge, especially picking up the slack for this dude. Josh Hader, 4.21 WPA. If you don't know what WPA is, it is win probability added. This, quite frankly, is kind of a stat that shows how these relief pitchers have driven winning and losing on their teams this year. It's not really looking at necessarily just ERA or any traditional stats, judging their performance. It's all just context driven, like how much did your pitching result in wins or losses, probability of which, adding those over time this year. So, I mean, like I had a year in Boston where I had a 4-something ERA. Wasn't my best year, but almost all of my great pitching took place in huge spots, and I had like a 2 or 3 WPA that year, so I felt like I could hang my hat on the fact that I really drove winning that year. But you look at these guys, and it's a list of, the guys you would expect for the most part. Chapman, he's got a 4 value. Munoz, Kenley's still doing it. I'm a little jealous, but he's still doing it. Diaz, Morejon, who's been outstanding for the Padres. Mason Miller, now on the Padres. Whitlock's been outstanding. So a whole bunch of Padres guys when you throw in Suarez here. So that shows you how much the bullpen has really driven their style of play this year, and they're winning. Suarez, Miller, Morejon. But for Houston, King picking up big slack off Hader. So Brian King, that's outstanding. Let's click on him, and we can see the amount of inherited runners here because it will be impressive. I know it's usually in here somewhere. Maybe it's in the MLB page, IR, and then bequeathed runners. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go another route here. There's so many different places to go looking for these things. Brian King. Thanks for the giving me some direction, Murphy Stanley. That is what I like to do, is explore, and it's nice. I can't watch everything. I can't be aware of everything, so it's nice when guys help me out with that. Okay, in here they will have the stats. So yeah, this year 22 inherited runners. which is this stat right here, IR and IR scores. 22 inherited runners, 0 have scored. 0. That is picking up your teammates big time. And then his teammates have picked him up too. He's bequeathed 11, meaning he's left 11 guys on. And then only one of those has scored. So that's a good ratio. He's picked his dudes up, and they've picked him up actually over the course of his whole career. So that's a huge stat. It's something that flies under the radar a lot. There's been a lot of relievers that have been celebrated for their stats, but then they go ahead and they're screwing everybody else's stats up in the bullpen. And so it's really cool that this got pointed out, because this is something that has driven winning for the Astros. And he's been incredibly clutch, and he deserves so much credit for that, even beyond his ERA and his traditional stats. So thanks a lot, Murphy. That was awesome. All right, so I think we're kind of out of topics for today. If you didn't already check it out, check out my Hunter Brown video. His game was stupid dominant last night. Literally 1 hit, 1 walk. Living 100, throwing sliders in a big game, 1-0 win. Making it even more incredible. Yeah, Brian King, man. He's been really good, no doubt about it. All right, let's go do the probables for today, because we're kicking off a huge slate of baseball tonight. Very exciting stuff all around the league. All right, Shota Imanaga and Nick Lodolo, Cubs at Reds. This series continues. Quick question in the chat. Adam, could you have been a pitcher and hitter like Ohtani? No, not like Ohtani. I could have been a pitcher and a hitter like, I don't know, not a good enough hitter. I think if I only focused on hitting, it would have been interesting to see, because I became a big guy. I might have had power, but I think I would have struggled with pitch recognition and strikeouts and that sort of thing. So, no, pitcher only. PO for the kid. All right, Shota Imanaga, Nick Lodolo. This is a really good pitching matchup, and just such an important game still for the Reds. So let's see how this one goes. This is a big game. A's and Pirates, it's Sevy and a TBA. Braves, Tigers, Elder and Chuck Morton. Tigers suddenly need to win a few games to make sure that they hang on to their AL Central crown, as Cleveland's coming up behind them. Yankees, O's. Now, this is Will Warren, who I think he could actually get himself into the playoff rotation, maybe, if he looks super dominant the last 2 games. He is the guy that has been healthy the whole year. He's just had huge highs and huge lows this year, so most of the attention's been on Schlittler and Heel. But we'll see. Will Warren is going to do his best here against the Orioles today. And Trevor Rogers, who, if you don't know, he's been one of the best pitchers in the league this year. So tough matchup for the Yanks today. Nats at Mets. Nats are definitely a team that loves to play spoiler against the Mets. They have a TBA situation, and the rookie Brandon Sproat is getting his 3rd career start in this one at Citi Field tonight. Nats, Mets. Red Sox, Rays. Red Sox all of a sudden really need to win. So they're going to throw their ace out there, Garrett Crochet. He's facing Rasmussen, really good pitcher as well, down in Tampa. So a huge game at a spring training site, kind of a weird deal. But the Red Sox need this one. Blue Jays trying to hammer down the AL East. They send out Mad Max today versus Lorenzen in Kansas City. Kansas City is pretty much cooked. I think they're like 7 back out of the wild card, so they're pretty much cooked. You can see them later. And Max is trying to, get himself a playoff start and get his team where they need to be, which is the AL East champs. Padres, White Sox, Cease and Martin. This is the opportunity for the Padres. They're facing the White Sox kind of at the right time. If they can manage to play good baseball this weekend and sweep the White Sox, they might be really close to the Dodgers with 1 week to play. Marlins, Rangers, Jansen Junk, Tyler Mahle making his return. Might be a little too late for Texas. But this guy's been good when he's been on the mound this year, Mahle. Angels and Rockies, Mitch Ferris, Bradley Blaylock. So both teams kind of hosting open tryouts the rest of the way here. And then this is the big matchup of the night, if you want my opinion. Brian Wu, Hunter Brown. This is like potential to be a classic. Of course, it won't end up that way because that's baseball. But Wu and Hunter Brown, man, two of the best going at it tonight. Parker Messick, who's been quietly very good at the Twins, and Pablo Lopez trying to keep this Guardians hot streak going and see if they can chase them down, whether it's the division or the wild card. They're getting awfully close here. Brewers, Cardinals, classic NL Central matchup. It's the Miz, Jacob Mizorowski going against Sonny Gray, the ace of the Cardinals. This is a fun matchup tonight. Phillies are in the desert. This is a huge game for the Diamondbacks. They get to face Taijuan Walker, probably the weakest of the Philly starters, although he can certainly shut you down. Ryan Nelson, this is a huge start for him as the Diamondbacks are trying to hang in there. And then Kershaw makes his final home start, which is a little sad for me to think about. I've been in the building, obviously, for a lot of them, including his no-hitter against the Rockies. I pitched the half inning right before he came out and finished the no-hitter. So in a weird way, I always felt connected in a weird way with the draft stuff and, being in the same division, just watching him. It's been awesome to watch him. So he's going to make his final home start today against the Giants. Who else? And Robbie Ray. So that's it for today. Had fun on the stream. Tomorrow night over on my channel will be Baseball After Dark, 10 p.m. on Saturday nights. That's where the chat usually gets really fun. Hopefully today will be a great day of baseball. Maybe there'll be something that pops up. Videos will get made. Who knows? But enjoy your weekend, everybody. It's been a blast hanging with you here on the MLB Friday. If you want more of it, head over to my channel, Adam Ottavino on YouTube. And I will see you next Friday on this place. And I will see everybody else tomorrow night on Baseball After Dark over on my channel at 10 p.m. So, peace. Have a good one.